So you may have noticed by now that Hydroneer 2.0 isn't quite going to be coming out on the pre-planned release date of summer 2021. Unfortunately, we're going to have to push back the update, and I don't have any more good news for you. Unfortunately, we don't even know when this update's going to come out. We're working as hard as we can to create the best game possible, and unfortunately that means giving a bit of delay to the update. All of us working on Hydroneer 2.0 truly love the game, and that's why we just don't want to put out a piece of crap. We started out with the idea of Hydroneer multiplayer back in about September of last year. Back then, we just kind of thought of just basically putting multiplayer in the game. But as we've started working more and more on this update, we've realized that we need to do more than just add multiplayer. A lot of things need to happen, obviously optimization and bug fixes, but also adding in better gameplay mechanics and balancing the game a lot better. After a while, we realized we needed to get rid of the save system completely and build our own bespoke one. The Unreal Engine save system is just not detailed enough for what we need for Hydroneer. So throwing out the old save system means that players have to start a new save for Hydroneer 2.0, although we will be releasing the current version of the game so you can still play your old saves on the old version of the game when the 2.0 gets released. So by resetting everyone's save files, this is a really good opportunity to throw out some of those items we don't like and add in some much better ones that we do like. So now, instead of it just being a multiplayer update, it's the Hydroneer 2.0 update with loads and loads of cool new things. So let's talk about some of those cool new things. This thing is probably one of my favorite things coming in this new update. It's the brand new conveyor belt system. So the current conveyor belt system is a little bit hard to use because the pipes are always in the same orientation throughout the entire conveyor belt line. But this new one is a lot more interesting. You can basically place your pipes underneath the conveyor belts in whatever orientation you want, which makes base customization a whole lot easier. Also, coming in the 2.0 update is different tiers of pipes. Yep, we've basically redesigned the way that progression works in the game, and now you'll have different tiers of pipes and machinery. I'm not going to be talking about this too much in this video, but in probably the next one or the one after that, I'll be talking a little bit more about the different tier system in Hydroneer, which is really exciting. Also on these conveyor belts, you can just slap things on top of it. So if you want to have a grinder, for instance, you can just place one on top and it snaps directly to the top of the conveyor belt, making it way more customizable to build your base. Another one of these accessories which is really cool is the new splitter add-on. Basically, how it works is sort of the same as the old splitter, but instead of having a dial to choose which resource you're splitting from, you just place that resource on top. If it doesn't have any resources on top, it'll also split items off 50-50. So the conveyor belts aren't the only things that now have attachments. We also have attachments for pipes. That means your filters can now be placed onto the pipe instead of buying a specific pipe filter. And the same with the pressure gauge. We've created brand new models for these as well, which I think look fantastic. I've actually upgraded a lot of the textures as well to make them look a lot more fancier. Alright, so new conveyor belts and new pipes, that's all well and good, but what about placing them down? Well, now we've got a new system for placing pipes down. Instead of kind of finically trying to place them in the right place, we now have a snap-on system, so when you just look at the end of a pipe, one pipe snaps to the other, really easy. Okay, so we got cool building things, but what about cool new locations? Well, if you watched my last devlog, then you would have seen that we've got a brand new area, and with that new area comes a crafting system. This is kind of tied into our new gameplay balancing features where you have tiered items. Now we basically create machines in different parts and combine them together. Again, I'll probably have more on this in the future in another video. Alright, so we got a new area, but how are we going to get to the area? I don't want to use that current truck because, I mean, we all know what happens when you try and drive the current truck. Well, we've basically taken all of the vehicle code and thrown it out the door with everything else. We've basically created a brand new vehicle system, which is a lot more reliable and less prone to, you know what. Okay, cool. So we got a few of these new features, right? There's a lot more of them that I haven't really explained today that I'll probably be explaining in the future videos. But what happens when you add a bunch of new things? Doesn't that make the game harder to run? Yes and no. Because we've completely replaced all the code in the game, we've actually made it way more optimized. So the barrier to entry to play the game is now a lot lower. If you have a computer that doesn't meet the minimum specifications of the game, now with this new update you might actually be able to play the game. We've updated the Unreal Engine to the latest version, and we also have tons of new optimizations and things just programmed just a little bit better. When I first made Hydroneer, I did it mostly by myself. I was just trying to create the game as quickly as possible, so I definitely missed out on a lot of optimization that could have gone into the game. But at the same time, I'm not a great programmer. I'm more of a game designer than a programmer, so I don't really have some of these skills. But now with the 2.0 update, we're a much larger team and we're creating way better code. It's a lot more professional and it runs a lot better. All right, because I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of these comments in this video, let's squash them now. So Max, you've been working on other games. I've been seeing you've been working on this game called Radio Silent and this other little hobby project recently. What's that about? Why are you not working on Hydroneer? Well, the truth of the matter is most of the work for Hydroneer 2.0 is actually in the code, something that I don't really do. We've got a team of programmers that work on the code, so a lot of the work that I have to do is quite small in comparison to the large leaps that the programming team has to take. So you've got a team of programmers, why not hire more programmers to make the update come out faster? Well, that's a great question, but it doesn't really work like that. Sometimes hiring more people kind of starts to take away from development time. You've got to walk them through the entire code base already and kind of do a lot more people management. It generally slows down projects quite a lot, and I think we've got a really nice balance now of the amount of programmers that we have. All right, Max, well, why are you only letting us now at the end of summer that this update is delayed? Well, that's a really good question, my unnamed friend, but unfortunately, we haven't really known. We've been trying to find out a release date for Hydroneer 2.0, and it's been really, really difficult. I mean, this isn't really something that game developers do, where they take their entire game, rebuild it from scratch, and then give out a free update without changing the price of their game. So as we progress into the future, I will try as hard as I can to get a release date out as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, these things just take time and they're a little bit unknown. All right, so let me be real with you guys for a second. Everyone here at Foulball Hangover really loves Hydroneer. The majority of people that have joined the team have been people who have really enjoyed Hydroneer before helping us out creating it further. I hope you guys can appreciate the fact that we're not just trying to throw this update out as early as possible to get some money off you guys. We really are doing it because we love the game. We've learned so much from this 2.0 update, but the one thing we've really learned is about how great you guys are. Since launch, the game has absolutely blown up. We've had loads of messages in the Discord server about multiplayer, and I think it just goes to show how excited people are for the potential of putting multiplayer into Hydroneer. Me personally, I never really imagined that I'd be kind of standing here talking about loads of people working on a game that I made in my bedroom when I was a kid. And I really do appreciate the enthusiasm you guys have got for our game. If you guys do have any more further questions which I haven't answered in this video about the update, please do leave them in the comments below. I'll try and get through as many of those questions as possible and answer them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care.